Welcome to My SSP Kit Online, your online home for the Integrated SSP Kit. Everything you need to teach each week lives here. Your user guide, screen displays, printable resources, screening tools, and catch-up resources. This short video walks you through your My SSP Kit Online from top to bottom, so you know exactly where everything is and how to use it each week. The page is organised into 4 zones. So across the top are your essential supports, including the user guide, screening, the generic daily review, and this navigation video. On your left are the Year 5 programs, organised by term, with an overview of each phonic concept covered in each term's teaching. On the right are your catch-up programs, for students who need targeted support at an earlier point in the sequence. Again, with an overview of each phonic concept covered in the term's teaching. And the last zone is at the bottom, where you can access training videos organised by term. The user guide is your first stop. It explains the structure of the kit, the teaching sequence, and how the resources fit together. This is information you can find inside your physical book, but it now also lives online in My SSP for easy reference. Screening tools help you place students accurately, so you know which students follow the whole class program and which students need a catch-up program. The generic daily review gives you a ready-made review structure you can use any day of the week. And finally, this training video tile is where you'll find this walkthrough whenever you need a refresher. Let's take a closer look at your whole class teaching. The Year 5 program on the left side follows the term tiles in order. Each tile shows the stage being taught that term and a preview of the weekly sequence, so you can see the scope of the term at a glance. Hovering over the program drop-down will display the additional buttons available. The first option, with the printer icon, is your printable resources from the Year 5 manual. Clicking on this will open a new tab. On the first page, you'll see an overview of the tasks completed on each day. With the speech to print task and the dictation task, usually ones you're wanting to be printing off prior to your lesson. So let's have a look at, for example, week 6. I'm going to go to this week area and I'm going to look for week 6. And I'm going to see that in week 6, I can jump to page 59, and that's going to take me to the task immediately. So I'm going to write 59 in the bottom corner down here, and you're going to see me jump immediately to that speech to print task. Now on the very next page, you'll see the dictation task as well. So I'm going to get that ready to print off for my in-class teaching. I'm going to click this printer icon here, and let's say that I need about 10 printed off because I have 10 students in that group. Okay, so I'm going to go to customize, and I'm going to write that number down again. So that was 59 to 60. And you'll see that now we have those pages ready to go, and I can print off as many as required here. Now, if I want to find out where the next weeks are, I can just go back to the home and I can see that immediately very quickly as well. Turning to the next page, you'll see again another nice overview of the concepts and which week that they fall on. Heading back to the other drop-down menu, you can see that the other one is screen displays. So we're going to click on that. So again, the screen displays will open into a new tab, and this is what you're going to show when you're actually teaching. So let's say that I'm in week 6. This home page, I can click on any of these and it's going to jump me forward. So let's click on week 6. Okay, and you'll see that I've gone into week 6 content. So let's have a look at the digital displays. You can see this first page is an overview where it's got the teaching from the last few weeks. It's got some space for me to practice writing in those words and commonly misspelled words. Moving to the next page, you can see that it's a review of a fortnight ago's learning. So if you have a look in week 4, it was teaching of the prefix in, and we've got that there. So we've got the prefix here. We also have a little script for you to introduce that phonic concept, the words that were provided in the word list, as well as the commonly misspelled words that were taught in that week, and a bit of a vocabulary exercise here. Moving to the next page, we'll see learning from last week. And last week, week 5, was that prefix im. And again, it's got the same content across that whole page area. The next page is this week's current learning in a bit more detail. So again, it's got our phonic concept with the way to introduce it. It's got the word list and the commonly misspelled words down the bottom. The next page is your speech to print and your dictation task, so you're able to model that in class as well. And then we move to the next week's content. If you want to head back and click on another week, just remember to click that little home button down the bottom, and that's going to take you back, and you can jump forward to any other week. The other part of our screen display resources, which you may have missed, are the word study templates. So if you have a look here, you can actually click here and it's going to jump you forward to those templates. Now we've got these templates for you to model with on your Wednesday, Thursday when you're conducting that vocabulary focused exercise instead of the speech to print exercise. So you've got the prefixes and suffixes template, the complex words, the synonyms and antonyms, and dictionary definitions. So again, you can press that home button to jump back. And again, it's that word study template part here. Now, in any classroom, we will have students working behind the teaching sequence. So that's where our catch-up programs come in. There are 13 programs, starting with stage 4A to E, stage 3A to D, and then stage 2A to D. For outlier students operating below this, please click the link here to note and learn more about your options. Your screening results tell you which programs your class needs, which you will have decided after putting your students' data into the PLD tracking sheets and grouping them accordingly. The catch-up resources are similar to your Year 5 programs in that you can hover over the program drop-down to see the additional resources available. So we have the printable resources in the manual and we have the screen displays. You may also see reference to version 1 or version 2 displays. Version 2 are our new and improved slides, so we recommend you use these during your in-class teaching. A couple of my favorite catch-ups are stage 2D and stage 3D. These programs have a review of some to most of the content taught across the stage. But remember that in stages 3 to 6, there are approximately 40 to 60 concepts taught across the terms. So ensure you look at what errors students made in that group to determine the best catch-up term for them. For this example, I'm going to open up stage 3A catch-up. So let's click into the screen displays and we're going to click into version 2. So this is going to open into a new tab. And you'll see that these look slightly different to your Year 5 program. So I'm going to skip to, let's say, week 6 again. And we'll see that it's a slightly different view because we are still teaching the heart high frequency words. So let's have a look at that. We've got day 1 initial teaching with the most scaffolding with a script down the side. The second one is day 2 with some slightly reduced scripting and scaffolding. And day 3 is an opportunity to practice reading the word with no scaffolding. The next slide shows this week's learning with the word list and vocabulary component. Then we have a review of last week's learning. Then we have a review from a fortnight ago. Following this, we have our speech to print task and dictation for the week. So how do we use these digital displays in the classroom when working across multiple groups concepts? Now, let's get our 3 tabs open so I can demonstrate. If we go into, let's say we're going to have our term 1 displays open, we're going to get one of our catch-up groups open, And we'll get our last catch-up group open. Okay, now I've got 3 tabs open. If you're able to effortlessly switch between these, it's going to make your teaching far smoother. So if we say we're in week 6, I'm going to move to week 6 for each of my catch-up programs and my year 5 program. Okay, so we recommend using a clicker that is set up to switch between your tabs. I have a Logitech R500 wireless presenter clicker with Logitech Options Plus enabled. So this is something you can download for free, and once you have your clicker installed, you're able to actually assign a keyboard shortcut. So I have it so I can still normally go forwards and backwards by short clicking, but I've added the keyboard shortcut. If I long hold press on forwards or backwards, I'm able to switch tabs. Let me quickly demonstrate. So I'm on this tab, I can again go forward and backwards like normal, but if I want to go to my other tab, I just long hold press here and I'm able to quickly switch there. Again, moving backwards and forwards, and then maybe I want to go back to the other one, easily do that. Now, you can visit our Q&A section on our website for detailed instructions on how to set this up on your device. In summary, you have learned how to navigate your My SSP Kit Online, how to print off the printable in-class resources from your Year 5 manual, how to use the new screen display materials, and locate our catch-up programs. For further coaching videos, take a look at the training videos listed below.
If you found this information useful, don't forget to click the subscribe button and check out our related videos shown here. If you have any questions or feedback, please add them to the comments below and we'll be sure to respond. Otherwise, you can reach us via live chat on our website, pld-literacy.org. Thanks again for viewing.